but we've got Bernard from Canada, and he was told that you, Jon, would give him the name of the fossil in a discussion online. So, hey, Bernard or Bernard, please tell me how to say your name because I know it's different. I know it's
Bernard. No, that's good enough. That's good.
Bernard. Great. So you want Jon to tell you the name of a fossil that you were having a discussion with him?
Yeah. No, I just posted on. He was talking about the show or something, and then I go, "So you're going to give me the evidence that Dawkins is pointing at?" And I got a picture. Okay. And he says, "Call the number and find out." So I called, and I guess I'm just asking for the name of the fossil.
That's fairly direct. That's how you do things. Well done, Jon.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't agree that I would give you a fossil name. I said call and find out. So I did not agree to a fossil name.
Okay. So you don't have one.
But just for the rest of us, Bernard,
yes or no,
what is the
if it's
picture?
No, I'm hanging up.
Can you explain the picture for us so that everybody, because at the moment it's just a you and Jon conversation. This is a call-in show, so it would be good that everybody knows what's going on. Just explain the picture maybe, and then we can go from there.
Okay, it's a really simple picture. It's Dawkins. If you go onto like YouTube and you hit the search bar, you type in Dawkins Bonobo, and you watch the video, he points at these nodes of like the common ancestry nodes between humans and apes and bonobos and whatnot.
Right.
And he's pointing at these nodes, and it's just basically a fork on paper. And according to the theory, there's supposed to be a fossil for that spot. So, okay, that's it. It's really simple. I mean, it's not long. So then I go to Jon. I go, "Oh, you got evidence?" And he's like, "Call the number and find out." I'm like, "Okay." So if I call, and I'm reading my comment here, if I call, you'll tell me that the fossilized common ancestor has been found for that spot. And then he just says, "You'll have to call." Well, okay, I'm calling.
The thing is with spots on an evolutionary tree, that's not really how it works. There's a slow progression of changes in a species.
No, there is a spot. No, you're wrong. That is how it works, because that's why they have a spot.
Well, no. So I'm going to mute him.
Bernard, can I ask you a question real quick?
Oh, go on. Ask him the question, and I'll unmute him.
But Bernard, have you ever heard of the saying that you'll catch more flies with honey than vinegar? I think that's the saying. Have you ever considered maybe not being so abrasive and brash in having discussions like this? Because, I'm fine having a discussion with you about this, but you're sitting on the other line, on the other end of this line, and you're like, "Show me the fossil, tell me the fossil." And you're not allowing us to really explain how it works. And you're just obstinately pointing at this image of Dawkins and saying, "Give me the fossil right now." Nobody wants to talk to that guy. Is there any way that maybe we can change the attitude a little bit, and maybe let's just have a discussion?
Tone it down. Yeah, let's bring it back a little bit. We're happy to talk about. I mean, and neither of us. Well, I don't suppose you're a evolutionary biologist in any way, Jon, and neither am I. But I think we kind of understand this, like a very basic explanation of the process of how evolution works, and that you have a group of let's just call them creatures at this point. And over a very, very long time, there are very slight changes that are bred into this species, and it takes a massive amount of time for them to eventually be a completely different looking, appearing, acting species to what we started at. And it does. All these small changes take so long that there's not really any transitional. I know that I think what you're saying is you're looking for a transitional fossil between species, and that isn't how it works. You just get to a point and go, these things look completely different to these things, even though there was it was a journey to get here. And now all of a sudden they look so different. We're going to have to recategorize these as something completely new because they are so different. But actually, the journey they got to at this point through breeding and mutations and traits that were passed on that actually benefited the species, it's made such a difference that we have to now call them something else. Does that make sense?
Are you talking to me?
I was talking to everyone. Just whoever's listening, to be
No,
honest.
no, it doesn't make sense. Like, you don't understand evolution.
Okay. Fine. If you'd like to explain evolution to me, I'm more than willing to listen. I'd like to hear. I'd like to hear evolution.
The
Because
thing
I'm
is,
guessing that
I'm not
are
gonna. No,
you,
I
are
can't.
you, are you? I've just put you on mute just because I'm talking because I get to do that. I like the power. I'm gonna guess that you are then an evolutionary biologist, and I said that I'm not, and I gave you like my basic understanding of what evolution is, and I feel like I did a fairly good job, considering this isn't my profession. I'm going to guess that because you've got something to say about evolution, that you are an evolutionary biologist, Bernard. You can tell me now.
Yes, I am an expert on evolution. Now, the question, that's why I have the question. You have to laugh. That's fine. But the thing is,
I didn't laugh. I agree.
What do you have a degree in? Where did you get your degree from?
Don't worry. I'm asking the question.
I'm asking questions too there, Bernard.
I called the show because you told me that if I call, you're going to tell me. That's it.
No. I said you'll have to call the show to find out. So don't twist my words there, Bernard.
So now I'm
also, I want to know where you got your degree from if you're an expert in biology.
Quit cutting me off.
Where did you get your degree from? Bernard, where did you get your degree from?
Again, quit cutting me off. All I'm asking is
for your degree.
Fossil. I am asking for the fossil. That's what I called for. I didn't even want to go down this road.
I'm asking for where you got your degree from. If you're an expert, where did you get your degree?
And I'm telling you, I'm telling you that you invited me on the show because you were going to tell me to call and find out. So,
I'm saying I will trade you an answer for where you got your degree in evolutionary biology.
No, there is nothing. No, I am asking for the fossil. Now, this is honestly like I know the fossil doesn't exist. However, because that's why Dawkins didn't have it on his sheet. Now, I've done enough research to know that this has never been found.
Okay, well, okay. So, Bernard, I understand. Okay, you're not happy that there's no fossil for this little section on a chart. What is the alternative then? Let's say evolution isn't a thing. Okay, we can't prove to you evolution is real. So what is the alternative? Tell us how life changes and we have all these different species.
Again, I'm telling you, I'm not happy that Jon invited me on the show to tell me that he's going to tell me. And then
okay. And you know what, Bernard? You claim to be an expert, and all I said was, "Hey, tell me where you got your degree from and what you got it in." And then we can move on with the conversation. Mm-hmm. If you want me to give you my explanation for that little point on that graph that you have of Dawkins, I will tell you my explanation. But I want to know where you got your degree from and where you studied at, or anything of that nature. What makes you an expert in evolution?
Again, I asked about the fossil. If you can't go to your question by skipping mine.
No. You came in here saying I'm an expert in evolution. Jon the Skeptick over here got it completely wrong, and you're an expert. Where did you get your degree from, or at the very least, what makes you an expert? I want to know that first,
right? Yeah.
Before I talk to you,
because there's no point in speaking to an expert if the expert knows it all. So you should at least say why you're an expert.
Manipulation. I get it. However, you invited me on the show. Don't forget that. And you invited me, and you said to me, if I come on the show, you're going to tell me.
And I will tell you as soon as you tell me what makes you an expert. This is really freaking simple.
I did not see that in your invite, at all. All I got was an invite telling me you're going to show me this fossil.
Bernard, this is a call-in show, and we like to have conversations. So to progress through the conversation, we'd like to just have a little bit of information about you. That you made a claim that you are an expert in evolution. So we'd like to know what makes you an expert, so that then we can tailor the answers to where you stand on this chart of experts in evolutionary biology?
Okay, I told your screener it was going to be a short conversation.
Oh, okay.
I said, I'm going to ask the question, and if he doesn't answer, I'm going to hang up.
Okay. Well, has he answered the question for you?
Bye, Felicia.
Obviously not.
Okay.
He has
Well,
never.
I mean,
he hasn't even talked about it.
we can continue. I'm happy to keep you on if you're happy to say what makes you an expert in evolution. But if you're not happy to do that, then we can move on to some other calls.
All I'm asking is for Jon to put his money where his mouth is. He invited me, and he said that if I call, he's going to give me the fossilized common ancestor. But
That's
then he's
not
going
what I
to kind of
said.
wiggle out of that. He's going to wiggle
No,
out of
that is
saying,
not what I said. What I said in the comment was you'll have to call to find out if I can give you like a fossil. So I mean, I didn't say I have the fossil, call and I'll tell you. I said you'll have to call in order to find out whether or not I can answer your question.
It's all very clever wording.
It's all very legalistic and everything like that. Like my wife is a very good wordsmith, so I've learned a few things, even though I'm an engineer. So I mean, I was very specific about that. And if you could just explain how you're an expert, it could be I've got a Google degree, and I would be fine with that.
I've
do you
watched
have like
several YouTube videos. I would accept that if that's what made you an expert.
Again, there is no question. I'm asking you a question. There's no going to your questions until mine is answered. It's just not going to happen.
Oh, well, I mean,
okay. So if I answer your question, you will tell me what makes you an expert.
If you answer my question, all I'm asking for is a yes, no. Really, do you have that fossil? Yes or no? And then I'm going to hang up.
Okay, so you're not going to answer my question. You're not going to be a courteous conversation partner. You're just, you're here for yes or no, and then you're just going to hang up and disappear into the ether.
Part of me wants you to answer the question because I really want to know how and what makes him an expert in evolution. I'm getting frustrated with you, Jon. I want to know. I want to know if you have this fossil now because I want to know if how Bernard's an expert in evolution.
Yeah. So can you commit, Bernard, to telling me what makes you an expert in evolution? If I give you an answer,
Don Gleason, and he says to me that I have to call the show and find out. That's it. That's why I'm here.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So can you tell? What will you be willing to tell me what makes you an expert if I answer your question?
How can I reason with when an atheist believes they share a grandpa with a chimpanzee?
I don't believe that.
Nobody believes that.
That's not
my grandfather fought in Vietnam.
Yeah, mine didn't. I'm not American.
My other grandfather was in World War II. So I don't know what kind of chimpanzee you're talking about or whatever the hell you said.
Yeah.
There is a grandpa. Add generations. Everyone knows that. Common ancestor is grandpa. You got to add ancestors. Got to add generations. So yes, you can believe it's a grandpa a million years ago. Whatever. Okay.
Jon, I really want to know if you've got this fossil because I want to know how he's. We might, if you can say yes or no. Do you have the fossil, Jon? No.
I will say it for you. I do not have any fossils in my house.
Okay. Well, there you go. There you go, Bernard. He doesn't have the fossil. What makes you an... Oh, he's gone. Oh, well, okay. Thanks, Bernard. We really enjoyed that.
So I know everybody's kind of curious about what I was going to answer with. And now that Bernard's not here, I'm not I'm not giving him an answer. I'm giving everybody else the answer.
Sure. We all want to know.
I mean, obviously there's not it's not so rigid, like how exactly how Jon explained, or the skeptic here explained how evolution works. There's gradual changes, and it's actually kind of a philosophical question as to where we draw the line on speciation, because whereas we can definitely tell different species apart morphologically. The fine differences in between the transitional fossils is a little bit more complicated. So we're never going to be able to have like a skeleton that's like, this is the transition point,
Right.
because there's so many changes. But the way that we know that there was a proto like ancestor that we have in common with, I believe it's chimpanzees and
Bonobos.
bonobos.
Mhm.
The way that we know that it's there is like we can look at genetics.
Mhm.
There's the endogenous retroviruses that have that thing. There's also evidence of 2 chromosomes forming into one. There's evidence there's basically evidence in our genes that can't be explained any other way without involving magic.
Right.
And so it's incredibly unlikely that we didn't descend from a common ancestor with all with all those other apes, and then on a larger scale with all the other great apes. We're connected to them as well. That's why we're part of the great ape family. So there's never going to be a single fossil or point or group of organisms in the past that we'll be able to label these were the proto ancestors to us, because I mean we have a lot of proto ancestors to us, and we have fossils all along the lineage, but there's never going to be a single point where we've got a fossil and it's like this is the one, kind of thing.
Right. And I've got an 8-year-old stepdaughter, and she has so many questions, especially about evolution. And she's said, who were the first humans, and and it's very difficult to explain to an 8-year-old. But I've got this little thing where I've got I imagined 2 little blobs of paint and mixing them together until this color becomes this color, and there's no real point when it becomes this color from this color, and you've just got that gradual change in the middle. That's how I try and explain to an 8-year-old. I feel like Bernard needs something like that, maybe. Maybe just to understand some evolution. Well, mind you, he's an expert. Who knows? He might have better ways of explaining after watching 12 videos on YouTube or something like that.
Yeah. I couldn't help but laugh out loud when he was like, no, you're completely wrong. That's not how evolution
I
works.
am
And it's
an
like,
expert.
that's exactly how evolution works. I don't know
Never
what the hell
mind.
he's talking